getting this thing fired up. I get to run this thing by myself this week, Christopher. I got Christopher in the back seat. Normally he's running this thing. John's over here driving. We've been out fishing today on the White River, catching some big old smallmouth. And we're actually on our way home from Indianapolis, Indiana. So we just, I'm Melissa Jennings. We're letting a few folks jump on here, and hey, make sure all you folks share and or like this and share it out to people to get more people on here. There's Jenny. She's at home with a sick baby. Terry McWilliams, we just come off water with this guy. This guy, whew, man, what a fun day me and him had today. It's always a pleasure fishing with Terry and up here on the White River and these big smallmouth. What a day. I mean, this is a day for the memory banks for me. Rob Olson, how are you, buddy? There's my sister right there. Hi, sister. We see Scott Giska. Hey, I need all you, hi, Memphis. That's my little nephew. If everybody would hit the share button and share this out to everybody else, that'd be great. We need to share and get bunches of people on there. We're going to be giving away some great hats. Of course, the show's just ending, and every Tuesday night, 7:30, we call this After the Bite. Well, this week after the bite, we're traveling down the road. We are headed back from Indianapolis, Indiana. We've been on the White River catching some big old smallies today. It's going to be an awesome episode. I don't know, Scott put on here, what's up, bro? You're a star. I don't know about a star. I'm just having a good time, getting to enjoy being out fishing, getting to film. It's just a absolute privilege to get to do something like this, something I'd always wanted to do since I was a kid. And to be out here doing that is just, it just really pretty unbelievable. So I don't know about a star. I would say I'm just humbled to get to do that. Christopher, you're in the back seat there. Christopher's been behind the camera. We've been up since, 4 this morning. This boy puts in 14, 15 hours a day. I don't know. My thumbs up and hats off to him because this kid makes it happen. And John Boykin over here, John's the same way, taking care of getting the camera side of it done, taking care of helping keep the show, organized and where we're going and how we're going to do it. And these guys right here make it happen. They really the ones that have to go through the grind because I'm out there catching fish and typically having a pretty good time doing it. And, they really, really have to work at it, making sure all the show stuff comes together. Justin Jennings, I see you're watching. Hi, Zach Shields. How are you? Zach was out, I think, fishing a tournament there last weekend. I kind of talked to him, and I didn't find out how he did, but maybe he'll post on here how he's done. But no, Scott, you're right. Scott Giska just put on there, nothing better than smallies. Them smallmouth today were phenomenal. Of course, the episode we were on in Alabama on Lake Mitchell, and I'm always excited to go down there on the Coosa River, which is Lake Mitchell, a whole chain of lakes down that Coosa River chain. And them spotted bass, I'm always wanting to go down there and catch them. And of course, as you saw in this episode, we were able to muster out one of them in that high, muddy, nasty water that we were in. The current was absolutely rolling. It was just pure mud. And I was with a good friend, Michael Hatten. And Michael is just a terrific fisherman. And he may join us later this evening, not for sure. He's at his daughter's ball game. If he gets done, he's going to jump on there. But I appreciate the fact that he, is, at his daughter's game, and he's got to take care of them youngsters first and family, and we'll see if he joins us here a little later. But anyway, talking about Michael Hatten, when we were down there on the Coosa River, we had originally went down with the intent of catching spotted bass. And as everyone's seen on tonight's episode, we ended up having to go largemouth fishing. Now, one thing about Hatten, every time I'm down there, he's like, oh, we got to go catch some of these big heads. That's what we got to do. Let's go. And so, thank goodness this guy had a plan, because I would have hated to have a show with just one or two little fish in it. And luckily, Hatten grabs a 1.5 ounce weight and his little punch bait, and he goes on to put on a clinic for me, catching these fish out of these mats. These largemouth were in cold, muddy water. They were buried up in these mats right along the edges of the bank. And Michael ended up catching some really nice fish. I think I might have caught one or two of them. But Hatten, he really put it together, and his knowledge really shined. So my hat's off to him for making this Alabama 811 episode look really good. It's just, even though you're filming, it's still fishing. You're still having to think. You're having to hustle. You're having to try to figure it out. You're improvising all the time. That's where my days of tournament fishing, I still have to utilize some of that knowledge quite often during these episodes. For me, I wanted to catch spotted bass, but here we went, catching big largemouth. And I'm surely not going to complain about any fish getting put in the boat. Scott Giska, he put on here, what's better, landscaping or making outdoor shows? Well, I'm going to say that I still love landscaping, but I'm going to tell you this, it sure is a true joy to get to go out there, something that I've been passionate about for probably 25 plus years. My granddaddy taught me to fish when I was a little boy at the farm ponds, and to now get to do it and host an outdoor show and share, my love for fishing is awesome. And for me, it's just a love. I'm no great fisherman. I just love fishing, and I try to learn all the time. It's like today I was with Terry McWilliams, and you're talking about a guy that in my mind is a role model. Any of you folks that don't know Terry McWilliams, Terry made the Bassmasters Classic through the Indiana Bass Federation. This guy is so humble about all the tournaments he's won, the knowledge he has, and he's a joy to get in the boat with. But when you go out there with guys like that, and the small details and that they, they're not just throwing a bait, they're thinking. And today I was throwing my stupid tube with him, and we were catching fish after fish for most of the day, and these smallies were basically starting to spawn and spawning at the same time, and some of them probably leaving. But I was throwing that stupid tube, and I ripped the jig head through the front of it. So I slide it back up on there, and Terry says, oh no, don't ever do that. You're going to take this bait off, you're going to retie it and re-put it back on, and you got to get it, because the next time you set the hook, you're going to miss the fish. So towards the end of the day, we got a few minutes. What do? I do what he tells me not to do. I slide it back up on there, and Terry literally says, well, do what you want. Do you know what literally happens? I miss the next fish. And that's what's a joy of getting in the boat with guys like that, with that kind of experience, and getting to fish with a lot of neat people, is what you learn. Even after 25 years of fishing, when you think you figured it out, you really don't know anything. Beth, my sister's saying kisses to you, Christopher. So your Aunt Beth saying hi, Christopher. But anyway, but you're always able to learn by getting in the boat with guys with that kind of experience. And that's really what's the joy of the direction, and getting to share time on the water and getting to film and do what I love. But I still love landscaping. I love design work. It's what's enabled me financially to be able to fish all of these years. And I don't know that I could ever give it up either. But to answer the question straight up, would you go landscaping or fishing? Well, there's no doubt I'll go fishing. my question for tonight, folks, and I'm gonna get everybody riled up. I got a couple hats here, Christopher. You show everybody off the hats. All right, there you go. No, you can't win Christopher's hat back there that he's got on. His mama got that for him so that he won't get sunburned, so hats off. But anyway, we got a couple direction hats. What I want to know tonight is, and I want you folks naming off, is what lake do you think is my favorite lake that I've ever been fishing on? What lake bass fishing was the best place that I've ever been on? Okay, John Ely, I like your response. You say you'd rather go fishing. Now, John, you're supposed to really love going landscaping. Now, we get to work together, buddy. But, no, it's a great answer. I'd rather be... Hey, Arden says Stonewall. Now, I wonder why he put Stonewall on there. I can tell you why. That's a West Virginia guy right there. Robbie Sparks says Rough River. Rough River is fun, but you're going to have to think a little bigger and broader on that answer. Lake Barkley's another good one from my sister. Old Terry McWilliams is thinking about Mexico right there. And that's definitely a great stop as well. So what lake, and you can duplicate answers, you can name answers, but what lake do you think is truly my favorite lake that I've ever fished on? The one you're on today, I'm going to tell you what, Scott, being on the White River today with that guy right there, Terry McWilliams, that will put it in the favorite category. I'll tell you another story on that. Well, today we literally had this tree laying in the water, and Terry says, there's a fish behind this tree over there. Now you're going to have to throw a little past this fork, and this branch sticks out. Well, our trolling motor's basically running dead, and I've kind of pushed the boat through these riffles and that, and we're literally sitting over on this tree, and we keep throwing, and Terry says, no, we're going to catch a good one. He's right in there behind it. So Terry throws in there, it gets bit. I throw in there, we get bit. Sure enough, we catch a fish right behind this V'd out branch, right there at fish set. Now, when you're fishing with a guy that's calling the shots like that, now that's amazing. Now, Best Sparks, Taylorsville Lake is my home lake, so you're wanting to say it's my favorite. Barron River's another good one. That's another Kentucky-based lake. So we're going to keep the guessing going throughout this thing tonight. But I gotta do a big shout out today, and I gotta tell a real story. 14 years ago I got married, and on that day I actually went out and fished a tournament, as many of y'all know, and I actually won this tournament. I was with my good buddy Brian Estridge, the best man in my wedding, and me and Brian left the lake with a pocket full of money, headed over to the wedding. I got married, literally brought the bass boat and all with us to the wedding. And my beautiful bride enabled me to go fishing on our wedding day. And today is my actual anniversary. And where am I at again? Well, I'm out fishing. Now, a lot of you ladies out there probably kicked me to the curb. But my beautiful wife, somehow she's somewhat put up with it, but I can't thank her enough, and to just say how much I love my beautiful wife for, kind of putting up with this crazy dream of mine and allowing, now Christopher to be out there and my kids getting to go film some of these shows, and, but here it is 14 years later, and what an awesome wife I have, and think that is, yes, sir, Arden, I'm in the doghouse. Once again, I'm out fishing. But I did cook her steak last night on the grill. She had been saying she wanted to have a steak, so we cooked steak last night together and had a little dinner, and hopefully I'll be home here in a little while. Maybe I'll have to stop and buy a little gift and take care of her with some flyers or something. But if she watches Facebook Live, I'm going to spoil the surprise. But anyway, to go on to finish that story, we won this tournament. I got married. Here I am all these years later, still out fishing, still with a wonderful, beautiful wife. And, it's a joy to be able to do what I'm doing. John Ely saying, we definitely can't take advice from you. No, I probably wouldn't take this advice from most of you guys. But it's because it takes a special woman to say, hey, my husband's out fishing doing all this fun stuff. And Christopher, what are you thinking of all this fun stuff? Christopher, as many of y'all know, is a guy of many, many words like his mama. He always talks a whole lot. So Christopher, what did you think about that fish catching today?
I mean, it wasn't too bad. It's a pretty good day.
Pretty good day. That's all I'm gonna get. So on that note, I'm gonna put it over to Boykin now. He's got to focus on the road. But John, give us a little of your perspective of today's fishing.
Today was pretty hard to sit there and watch and be behind the camera. That's one of those days where you want to be throwing a rod. Then they kept throwing me on the bank, and then they go down there, and I'm sitting there watching all the fish, and I don't have a rod. And then I kept getting out again. So I guess that was my mistake for keep getting out and not taking a rod with me and watching all these fish floating around, not being able to fish for them.
Does that ever make you question what you were thinking getting behind the camera out doing this?
Sometimes, but I've been a lot of places behind the camera, and I've been able to travel to places that I would have never gotten to go to. So I benefited from being behind the camera just because I've gotten to travel to so many different places.
Yeah, and hey, Terry McWilliams is probably giving good advice. You know, Terry's what, well, we don't give people's age, but we'll say Terry's an experienced man. He's been married a long time, and he says absence makes the wife grow fonder. Now, I like that, Terry. And Terry and me a few years ago did an episode together, and Terry told me, he said, you know, my wife is kind of like these fish. They get red eyes. And I'm not going to go any farther with that conversation, but we did catch some red-eyed fish today. And no, my wife doesn't have red eyes. She never gets mad. She is perfect. So, Terry, I'm not going to listen to that red-eyed advice that you gave me about those fish. But Scott says, I cooked my wife's steak too last night. Today she has me mowing the yard. Well, I cooked mine steak and she sent me fishing. So, Scott, you better be working on what you're doing there, bub. There's Lawana right there. Now, Lawana would be upset with me for saying that I'd rather go fishing than landscaping, because Lawana needs me to be buying plant material and helping her sales out. She's one of our shrub sales reps, and she does a great job and is good to us, and we always appreciate Lawana. We got Austin Smith. What's up, Austin? You've been out landscaping and working hard today. Do you use worms to fish with? I don't like touching worms. Well, sister, them worms are good, but I don't use a lot of live bait, but it's definitely a good bait to use. Nicholas Ely, what's the main bait you used today? We threw a stupid tube solely all day. We did probably make 15 casts with a whopper plopper, but that was it. But every fish came off a stupid tube today. Was throwing that on a 7'2" medium covert light spinning rod, medium heavy. We had 12-pound fluorocarbon line, throwing an 1/8 ounce. We were actually throwing the 4-aught hook in the stupid tube hook. If you get on there at Secret Lures, they have the 1/8 ounce with a 3-aught and a 4-aught hook. Today we were throwing it with a 4-aught hook. Terry really likes a 3-aught better, but that's what we were throwing, was an 1/8 ounce stupid tube green pumpkin, 12-pound fluorocarbon all day today. Austin Smith, some of you just joining, we got a couple direction hats that we're giving away. I want to know, what is my favorite lake that I've ever filmed on? Here's the hats there. Christopher's doing let's get a little sunlight's getting in there on them. Oh, here you go, Christopher. Now you're going to give people dirty hats?
No, I'll get some clean ones.
We'll ship them clean ones. So anyway, what lake Austin Smith, what lake do you think is the best lake that I like fishing on? And hey, for all you folks on there, if y'all could share and like this and send it out to other people, you got to share it. It gets more people on there. that helps us get a bigger audience. If we're trying to grow this After the Bite show. Also, any of you that are on here that haven't went to our YouTube channel, you need to go to our YouTube channel. You can watch all these Facebook Lives afterwards. We post them on there. There's my good buddy Ryan English. Ryan, what lake do you think is my favorite lake that I've ever fished on? But if y'all can share this, it's great. But go to our YouTube channel at The Direction TV and subscribe to it. We want to get our YouTube viewers on there. We want to get subscribers. We're going to be putting the episodes in about 7 more weeks when the re-airs are done and when all the new ones are done. We're going to be posting them week by week on our YouTube channel, and so you'll be able to watch them again, go back and see some of the fun stuff and watch it again. And Austin Smith, Taylorsville Lake, well, you better keep guessing. Nicholas Ely says the Ville for sure. Ryan English trying to say the Ville. Nicholas Ely's laughing now. But our YouTube channel, definitely go and subscribe subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it. If you don't follow our Instagram, if you get on our Instagram page, it's at The Direction TV Fishing, and get on our Instagram, follow us on Instagram, follow us on our Twitter at The Direction TV, and definitely follow us on Facebook. Share this stuff out for us. Stacy says Kentucky Lake. That's one of my favorites. I'm waiting for you to answer the favorite lake. Well, we're going to keep you on here for a little longer, sister. That's the game right here. But we're going to be giving some hats away. Who else has got some lakes to guess? We need some more guesses here. As I said earlier, my anniversary, I'm out fishing today. Actually on the way home. Be looking forward to seeing my beautiful wife. And I'm just thankful that she lets me get out here and and do all this craziness that I love doing, fishing and traveling around. And Michael Hatten on that episode today, just talk a little bit about Michael for a minute. I was hoping maybe he would be able to join us tonight, but he's at his daughter's ball game. Clayton Stone is watching. Now, Clayton right there, that's the best editor in the business. That guy right there, Stonewall Media. Clayton, I can't thank you for what you do to make this show awesome, and the ideas and the creativity you bring, and the just how you help with the team that we have, and putting all this together. You make this thing happen for me, man, and happen for all of us. I know John over here is a good friend of yours, and John and you put together a lot of great things for this, and then there's Christopher back there making the show happen all the time as well, every day, having to put up with his dad. But talking about Michael Hatten for a second, folks, this guy, if you don't know Michael, what a person he is. This guy loves the youth. He loves the good Lord. He loves loves fishing. He is just a person that I was just truly, truly thankful that I got to know him. And we crossed paths a number of years ago, and to get out there and share a day on the water, and a couple of other times that I filmed with Hatten has been just a privilege. And Michael, just when you watch this, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate your friendship, not just the fishing, but truly your friendship. We talk about life. We talk about a lot of great things together, and you're just a true joy of a person that I'm just truly blessed to know. Connie Duncan on here. How are you, Connie? My dad's on here saying happy anniversary. That's right, Pop. I'm out fishing again on my anniversary, as I keep repeating. I might be in the doghouse when I get home, but thank goodness I got a great wife. I'm going to be glad to get home to see her. I cooked her dinner last night for anniversary, and she, hopefully she won't be too mad at me, because the fish were biting, is all I'm going to say. This is going to be a great episode next year. Once again, we were in Indiana today on the White River with Terry McWilliams, and what a day we've had. So anyway, I've been asking the question of what's my favorite lake. Well, Terry McWilliams, I believe that I'm going to be having to send you some ball caps, because I'm going to tell you what, El Salto Lake in Mexico, that was the finest day of fishing in my life. We were actually talking about that at dinner earlier. Terry and us just got done eating dinner. And El Salto, I actually caught a 10 plus there. Nick, my 12-year-old son, he was with me, and he actually caught an 8+ pound fish. Got the privilege of filming that and was able to air it. And man, what an awesome lake El Salto Lake in Mexico is. And if you came back here and you asked me where would I go fishing, yes, Kentucky Lake, anywhere close by, would be my next favorite pick. I love going to Kentucky. There's nothing more fun. We're actually going to be filming down there with Chris Boudry here, hopefully in about 2 or 3 weeks. Hopefully the spawn will be over and the ledge bite will start up, and we're going to go down there and try to put on a good show and catch a lot of fish. And of course, we're going to be waiting on the timing. That's the great part about filming, is a lot of times we're in the tournament side, you've got to go to a lake and the weather's not right, conditions aren't right, so on and so forth. What you can do when we're filming is we're able to adjust these dates and go to these places at the right time, which is pretty awesome. You know, we can kind of keep going. Thanks, Stacy, for telling my wife happy anniversary. Everybody be able to make your second lake the winner. I just got a hat. Well, I just gave Terry a couple hats. So whoever guessed Kentucky Lake, I'm going to go up there and find who was the first one that guessed it. And we'll be posting and getting a hold of you and telling you that we'll be sending you a couple hats. So El Salto was number 1. Terry McWilliams says pass it to the next person. So we're going to be sending a couple direction hats to somebody who chose Kentucky Lake. Scott Gullett's jumping on here. Scott, how are you doing? You done missed out on the drawing for some hats. No, I am not doing Facebook Live driving. John Boykin drives. We're not going to be doing that kind of stuff. John's driving the truck. Christopher's in the back. I'm sitting in the passenger seat and enjoying the ride home. But definitely not driving and doing a Facebook Live. Not a wise idea. It's about like not wearing a life jacket with an outboard running in your kill switch. That just don't happen with me. Definitely not going to be doing any driving and doing Facebook Live. Ain't that right, Christopher? So, you know, we always call this show, for all you folks that are jumping on here after the bite, what we do is after a show airs, we get on here, we talk a little bit about what we did and where we were. The one bait that we, you know, down there on the Coosa River, what I will say is the only spots that we caught cranking. They were few and far between. I believe we'd caught 1 or 2, maybe 3. It's been a little while, so I don't remember exactly. And then the rest of our fish came throwing 1.5 ounce weight, flipping mats. And Michael Hatten put a clinic on teaching me that one. Well, I wasn't, you know, it's not in my 1.5 ounce weight on a flipping bait is a different little bit of a deal. And I enjoy doing it. I'm a great flipper, love flipping. And I had fun watching Michael put some pigs in the boat, flipping them mats down there. Trying to think what else here we got tonight. We were down in Alabama for Alabama 811, call before you dig. We always bring up that message. We're always talking about 811 and that it's free. Call 811 before you ever dig. I'm a landscaper, as I tell you, every single week. So call before you dig. It's free. It's the law. It's simple. It can keep you safe. It can save you money by not damaging the utility or something. If you're even putting up a mailbox, putting in a deck, post, planting trees, whatever it is, make sure you always call 811 before you dig. Folks, it's free. I mean, that's all it is to it. And why we wouldn't do it doesn't make sense. It's pretty simple. And, you know, that's something we do with this show. We try to get that message out to lots and lots and lots of outdoor folks who are watching outdoor TV, and we want to talk to them and say, hey, fishermen, hey, you know, if you're going to dig and do an outdoor project, call before you dig. May is supposed to be hotter than average. What impact on Kentucky fishing? Well, right now, you know, fishing, the spawn started up in Kentucky. I think everything's going to be pretty normal. I mean, a few of these fish are probably they're really right on schedule, I think, of spawning and everything. So, warm weather, I mean, might make them go a little deeper earlier. I don't know for the summer bite, but really the bite right now is going to stay pretty. I was up at Cedar Lake a couple days ago, and we were sight fishing, and you know, the fish were up on the bed. Some of them were coming in, some of them were going out, and that's really what they should be doing. The crappie bite is on right now. They're spawning. And so, but that's a great question, and I think fishing just going to be good, period. I think our lake's been up a little bit, but right now they've been pretty right for the most part. There's Andy's jumping on here. Hi, Andy. Anybody didn't catch the episode, you can go to Pursuit Channel app. I think it's Pursuit Up. You can actually watch these episodes on their DVR if you go on Pursuit Up. If you don't have a network that has Pursuit Channel on it, go and put the Pursuit Channel app on your phone, and you can watch it live streaming. So at 7:30 on Tuesday nights, 7 o'clock on Tuesday nights, you can live stream it right to your phone and watch it. But other than that, what you say, Chris?
So that's the end of the season, right? That's the last episode.
Oh, yep. We'll be starting our reruns next week. You'll be seeing the episodes that aired. They're going to start re-airing now. We had 7 episodes this season, so you got 7 more weeks of watching. This is on After the Bite right here, and we are driving home. And guess what? We're going to wrap this thing up. Christopher, you going to tell everybody bye?
Peace out.
Peace out. John?
See you later.
And that's After the Bite. Join us next week, 7:30, same place. We'll be talking about I don't know what, but we'll talk about something. So always call 811 before you dig. We're going to turn this upside down, rotate the phone around. And now we're finishing.